you guys have been asking me about my bent over backspin move. It looks a lot like this. Some of you guys refer to this move as my headbanger move or the helicopter move, but either way, I'm here to teach you, so grab your whip and let's get to it. If you're starting this out for the first time, put on your foam handle. It's going to save you so much when you're practicing this, and especially if you are hitting your face. First thing that you want to make sure to do is have really solid plane control. So the easiest way that you can do this is practice the vertical plane, and then just kind of imagine that your handle is rolling against a wall. You want to make sure that it never breaks that wall in front of you. So if it is going oblong, just kind of do this a couple of times just to get that muscle memory down. And maybe move the whip in space, so do a couple of flowers or spin. Put on your foam handle. It's going to save you so much when you're practicing this, and especially if you are hitting your face. And make sure that your handle is never breaking that walled plane. So from here, you can try and do the horizontal plane. So the horizontal plane is best practiced when you're doing like a corkscrew movement or a Tinkerbell, whatever you guys want to call this. I call it corkscrew. So kind of when you're going from in front of you to above your head. If you record yourself and play it back, you can see easily the planes that are existing here, and you can also see if you're breaking that plane, because the most important part is when it's above your head, you're making sure that you are completely parallel to the floor, because that is how your whip is going to move along your back. So once you get that practice down and you're ready to move on to the next step, you can start diving into the actual process of doing the bent over backspin. The trick is that you're going to make sure that your hand lies on your shoulder. So I'm using my right hand, your pictured left, to be able to spin my whip. So I'm going to go to the opposite shoulder. So I'm going to go to my left, your pictured right. So if you're mirroring me, you're going to be holding the whip in your left hand and you're going to be going to your right shoulder. So when you place your hand on that curve in your neck where it meets your shoulder, you want to feel how the whip can graze your back. So a very light toss across your back, just to feel it kind of guide around your back and go to the other shoulder. Do it to the front. So you're not exactly going into the full spin just yet, but you're getting the basic idea of it with where the plane is along your back. When you're doing this in full spin, it is okay for the whip to roll across the back. It's actually preferred when I do it, because then I know for a fact that I'm achieving the plane control that I want and that I feel would look best. When you're going into a full spin, for us ladies, sometimes you have a ponytail or like your head pops up and then your head catches it and you're just like, oh my god, it just smacked me in the face. The key is that when you feel it along your back, you're gonna kind of dip your head. Not dramatically so that you're changing the plane on your back, but just enough to be able to avoid hitting your face and avoid that ponytail issue. So, kind of like that. The second that I feel it start touching my back, that's when I kind of just dip my head a little bit so that the whip can graze over it. And let's try this again. And you are initiating some movement using your hands. You're just basically turning your wrist a little bit so that it'll initiate that full spin. So let's do it from the side. And there you have it. So if the head bob is too much, make sure that you try it without the head bob. But just try not to pick up your head. So the trick with the bob is just kind of teaching you to dip your head or keep it below that plane. And the more and more you grow familiar with this technique and knowing your planes, the more easy it'll be to avoid the certain things like the head bob and be able to transition in and out of that move. Just for a quick brief idea for transitioning to that move, anything where you are going to be in that horizontal plane, so such as a corkscrew movement, you can also do like the spin, the body wraps around your body, and then when you're coming back up, So anytime that your handle is pretty much out in a horizontal plane and not down in the vertical plane. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial.